Hi everyone, welcome back to Frugality and Finance! Today I want to go over my spending in May 2022. I actually have not filmed a video in a while, so this should be fun. Alright, I'm gonna pull up YNAB here, which is the budgeting app that I prefer to use. I unfortunately have concluded my free 1-year student trial of the app, so now I actually have to pay, but at least I get like a 10% discount for this 1 year after like going through the trial. Because I'm actually a paying customer, I finally have a referral link, so if you guys want to sign up for YNAB or just want to try it out and get like a free month out of it, feel free to use my referral link in the description box below. If you do end up purchasing the subscription after your free month trial, I will also get a free month, I believe, and I highly recommend the app if you love budgeting, if you're like a big budgeting nerd. It's not like a spreadsheet budget because spreadsheets can only go so far. This is very database driven. Now let's go into my spending. I have my pie graph here. I have colors in my pie graph now. Like, I did have colors before, but you couldn't really see them. Typically, you would just see like half or usually more than half of this pie being filled with the same color, which is not very exciting. And now I see so much color. Perfect timing for Pride Month, except we're going over May, not June, so whatever. The biggest category in which I spent in May was actually education. So I spent $1,208 on education. That is just my tuition for this quarter. And then I can also go over the trends of how much I actually spent in this category this year. Here you can see that my tuition comes up every 3 months, and then I sometimes have to spend on books and supplies, which unfortunately I'm gonna have to spend on in June again because this class requires a textbook. Okay, next up is travel. This was a gift to myself, a debt-free trip, and this was not the entirety of my travel expenses because I did book my flights and hotel back in April. In a later video just on the trip, I think I'll go over the details, but if you can look at the trends, you can see that I have not been spending any money on travel this year other than for this one trip. So you can see here that, you know, I spent money on lodging, transportation, and flights. When I was on my trip, I spent money on excursions, transportation, and food and drink. You can compare this to what I budgeted for in my previous budget video, but I do plan to put out a video about what I actually, like, exactly what I spent the money on, like what excursions they were, what food I ate, what drinks I had. So I'm really excited to edit that video and then hopefully put it out this month. The next thing I spent on, which I don't even think it should be classified as spent, but whatever, are investments, and this is my primary goal this month, to just max out my Roth IRA. The good thing is that in May I was able to send $624.87 towards my Roth IRA, so that account is growing and hopefully I will be able to soon max it out. The next big thing I spent on was transportation. Usually transportation is like my second biggest thing that I spend on. As you can see here, education, travel, and investments pretty much replaced my debt in May, and now we're on transportation. There's nothing too surprising here. I usually spend around $300 on that. This month that included tolls, gas, and maintenance, which was actually just a car wash. I just like washed my car. You guys know, like, I really don't wash my car often. I should, just like I should take cash out, I should do that, but these are things that I don't do often. And I spent $200 on tolls and $153.16 on gas, which is like, it doesn't seem that much compared to previous months, but if you think about it, I didn't go to work for a week because I was on vacation. So this should probably be like $35 more if I had gone to work. Gas prices, man, they're going up. Kind of surprised that tolls are going down. I think I'm just like being better about replenishing my EasyPass account because sometimes I just don't pay attention to the account balance or the threshold balance, and then all of a sudden EasyPass charges me like $100 or something to replenish my account because I hit the threshold, because they raise the threshold and I have no say in what the threshold should be. But I digress. So I have been manually adding a balance to my EasyPass account so that it won't hit the threshold by accident, because EasyPass just decides that they know exactly how much I'm gonna drive every month. I wonder if I can just call them up and be like, can you fix this? Next up is health and fitness. It was low for a little while and now it's back up again because I have health and fitness problems now. Yeah, my neck is still in pain. I started seeing a chiropractor and finally I know what's wrong with me, and they're basically just treating me, basically my spine, it just needs to be like aligned a little better. But like, let me tell you, I feel so relieved just knowing what's wrong with me because I've seen so many like doctors and like physical therapists and I guess an orthopedist, and they didn't know, they couldn't tell me what was wrong with me. They had x-rays, they had MRIs, and they couldn't tell me what was wrong with me, and this chiropractor did, and I went to a different chiropractor as well to get a second opinion, and they both told me the same thing. They corroborated the story. They knew what was wrong with me, but it's taken me like, what, 9 months to figure it out. This whole process has just made me much more skeptical of, I guess, doctors in general. It's just important to get a second opinion and figure out what's wrong with you, and like, don't let people refer you to pain management when they don't know what's wrong with you. I'm glad that I did not follow that advice. So here we are, and I am going to a chiropractor who I think is helping me because I feel better doing some of the treatments that they're offering. If you look at the details, I spent $143.69 on the doctor, which is essentially the chiropractor copays. They're a little expensive. They're like $35 a visit, and I've been to a few visits now, but I'm okay spending that. Classes, $127.94. I just bought an annual subscription to the Whitney Simmons Alive app, and I've actually been using it a lot, so it's been fun. I really like the interface, and I'm happy that I got it, so I'm really enjoying the workouts. Next up is medicine. I basically got like the cervical pillow that was like $70, and it like really alleviates, I guess, like the weight of my head on my neck when I'm lying down on it, so it's really nice. And you can see the previous months it looks like I've just slowly been increasing my cost. It's actually like a really nice trend. All these red ones are just me trying to figure out what's wrong with my neck, basically. So I expect this category is still gonna be a little high next month as well, but hopefully I'll be feeling a little bit better as time goes on. Next up is refrigerator light. So I spent $232.55 in this category. $143.30 of that is groceries. I had people come over and I wanted to welcome them with food. So there's that, and then some other stuff is just like for me, and then just like food. I don't know. Look at me. I bought groceries once. $7 drinks. So friend Juliet, she actually Venmo'd me $7 because I became debt free. So she was like, buy yourself a beer with this, and I bought myself a beer. That's what the $7 is for. Thank you, Juliet. And the rest is restaurants. So I did go out to eat with a friend or two, co-workers as well. I don't think I want to be spending $82 every month on restaurants, but I think I'm gonna be a little bit more lenient with spending money on restaurants and like letting myself go out to eat. But I'd rather spend the money that I allot towards restaurants if someone asks me to go out to eat, and I can just be like, yeah, sure. So I think I'm gonna start setting a fixed amount of money towards restaurants every month, and if I use it, I use it. If I don't, then I don't. Next up is wardrobe. So I spent $218.75 on wardrobe. $79.30 was shoes and accessories. That was actually my new wallet that I bought because my other one was deteriorating, and I got it with a coupon at the Coach outlet and free shipping, I believe. So I did make economies where I could, and that was just the final price. Next up, I spent $139.45 in clothes. I made a video on spending guilt. This is what I spent on. I bought 2 tops from Aritzia and then a bunch of tops from Uniqlo. This is one of them in like every color because I just like them. And as you can see, I sometimes spend clothes very sporadically in some months, and in some months I just don't spend any money on clothes. Now I'm actually spending money on clothes without a 2.78% tax on my student loan, so that's not bad. Next up are subscriptions. Basically the same as every month except for May, because I spent money on YNAB, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, with the 10% student discount after the first year. Yeah, that's just for the whole year. That's not a monthly thing. If it were, goodbye YNAB. Last but not least is giving. $93.95 in gifts this month. I usually don't plan this category. Things just come up sometimes, or like I want to donate or I want to give someone a gift. So that's how much I spent this month. It's again like another kind of sporadic category. That is my spending for the month of May. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you spent the most on in May 2022.